What's up, guys? This is Ryan Johnson back again with another quick upgrade for my boat. If you have the Humminbird Mega 360 imaging transducer, this is something that you definitely should look into because you want to protect that unit from getting any type of damage to it on rough waters or anything like that. It also looks good. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. It is the BoatLogix 360 Mega Imaging Transducer Bracket. This stabilizes that 360 mega imaging transducer to prevent a lot of play in that unit whenever you're running the lake or you're on some rough water, to prevent damage from that unit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See, that has a lot of play in there. And whenever you're on the water, you definitely do not want that to happen. Now, that's from me just moving that unit around with my hand. Imagine how much more it moves around on the water, because that is a lot more force whenever you're hitting those waves. Let me show you how that looks. Over time, that is something that can definitely cause some damage, catastrophic, or maybe it's just some light signal interference or something like that that you don't want to have and want to avoid if at all possible. All right, so just got it in the mail a few days ago. Had to take it out and take a look at it. There it goes. Nice solid piece of aluminum. Looks pretty good, and I really like the look that it has once you install it on the boat. So let's go ahead and get to it real quick, get this on there and show you what the finished product looks like. All right, so in the box itself, you will have the mount. You will need a 1/2-inch wrench or socket wrench so that you can get this installed. Okay, make sure that you use a socket wrench as opposed to just a regular wrench like this. I wasn't able to find my socket wrench set right now, so I really want to go ahead and get this thing on there, so I'll go ahead and go with this. But of course, it will be a lot faster and more efficient if you use a socket wrench. All right, and you can't forget your handy Craftsman 8-in-1 metric hex key set. You will need this for the mounting bracket itself. This is what you use to loosen this up so that you can install it. See what else you have in here. All right, that's just the receipt. This is some info on some other products that they have. All right, and here are the instructions. So in order to install this properly, you will need to, as this says, the 360 shaft and trolling motor must be parallel before installing the BoatLogix bracket. So you have some washers in here. So once you remove this bracket, you will install these washers. We'll go through that real quick. And looks like they have some, pretty much like some Loctite or something like that to keep the bolts back in place. So let's go ahead and go through these instructions real quick. All right, there's what the finished product will look like. According to these instructions, you will remove 4 bolts and add some washers onto those. Let me put this out of the way. The 4 bolts are going to be on the underside of the trolling motor itself, and it is the bracket that holds the 360 in place. So you have 1, 2, make sure you guys can see that, 3, 4. Those 4 bolts are what you're going to take off. Add those washers in there, and then we'll go from there. Let's get that done. All right, there you go. You have 2 thick washers and 2 thin washers. All right, so I've already taken off the 2 bottom. Down here is where the 2 thick washers go. Once I unloosen these top 2, I was able to move this bracket back and forth, and it gives me enough clearance to where I can slide these bolts back in here with the washers on there. So I'll take one bolt, slide that back in place, and move this bracket up a little bit so that I can slide the washer in there. All right, there you go. So you can see the washer right here, and there's a bolt on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and screw that in there and do the other side with the same thing on these two bottom ones. All right, so before I tighten these both down all the way, I'll go ahead and install the washers on the top now, and then I'll tighten everything down. All right, there you go. You can see the top washer going in here on this side, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, so we're done with the first part of the installation. Got this bracket back in place. Have the two washers down here. That's one washer, two washer, the two thick washers. And then up here you can kind of see one of the thin washers. So that's the bottom, that's the top, whenever you're looking at the instructions. Okay, so hold on one quick second before you proceed. I'm actually back from the future from about, say, 15-20 minutes from now, to let you know that there is a top and a bottom to both sides of these pieces. So if you look, if it's like this, you'll see BoatLogix on this side on mine, and you'll see BoatLogix on that side. So one side is going to be upside down while the other side is right side up. But the way that you know which is the top and the bottom, which is very important, is you will see this cutout area in here. That is the top. The smooth side is the bottom. If you do not put both of these pieces where they are matched up, which is this way, which is the correct way, you will have to take everything back off and start back over. Don't ask me how I know that. Just know that I am coming back to show you guys this. Now let's continue with the video. All right, so you want to move all four of these screws from the bigger side. This is the side that will attach to the trolling motor. So you have the smaller size and the bigger size holes on here. We're going to work on this bigger size first. All right, so after you take these two screws off on the side, on each side, then you want to go back and take the 4 screws off on the top, and you now have it all apart to where you can take this brushing out, and this goes on the trolling motor itself. So let's go ahead and get that. Okay, so I'm removing these tie straps, and I'm going to go back with electrical tape because I think that's a little more safer to use on there so that you don't get these tight crimps inside of your lines. All right, so now let's go ahead and put those the brushes on there and keep on moving. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this other side loose. This is the side that attaches directly to the 360 itself, which is the smaller side. All right, so now I got the part secured onto the trolling motor. Now let's go ahead and mount this part onto the 360 itself. And the final step is to add these top pieces back on here. Have 4 more screws to put in. And that'll be it. All right, so that's it. I hope this helped you guys out. If you already have this on your boat, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think about it. I really like the way that it looks, and I am a lot more confident that my unit will avoid some damage that could potentially happen if I did not have this mount to secure my 360 mega imaging transducer. All right, guys, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you have not already subscribed. We have started our 2021 tournament season. So if you are interested in tournament videos, electronic tutorials, tips, and things like that, please hit the subscribe button. See you guys on the next video.